time for Vivid Talk, a coaching conversation to cultivate your visionary lifestyle. I'm your host, Gwen Witherspoon, Better Life Coach. We use my proprietary Vivid model for growth and development to get us started, but it's not a real conversation without you. So join in. Visit vividtalkradio.com for details. We've got a great show for you today. Glad you're here. Welcome to Vivid Talk. Today's episode is titled Cooking Up a Recipe for Seeing Green with the Skincare Chef, and it's brought to you by Adam Red. But before we get started, let me tell you how you can join the conversation. Post your comments, share in social media, visit vividtalkradio.com to start a Coach on Call chat. Today, I'm talking to the delightful Yolanda Owens. She is the owner of Iwi Fresh, voted Best Made from Scratch Spa Treatments by Atlanta Magazine in 2015, featured in the Atlanta Tribune in 2016 and 2017, in Essence Magazine in 2017, and I'm proud to say in the premiere issue of Vivid Magazine. Yolanda, welcome to Vivid Talk.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Listen, I have so many amazing things to say about you, but I want you to introduce yourself to our listeners.
Sure, yes. As you stated, my name is Yolanda Owens, and they know me as the skincare chef. I am the owner of Iwi Fresh Farm to Skin Spa, a native of Atlanta, Georgia, and love what I do.
Now, okay, so now how did you become a skincare chef?
I became the skincare chef by I always put all the the um, the accolades to my grandmother. Grandmother was a home remedy queen, as we called her. And I grew up with my grandmother. She never believed in buying anything from the store. She was always making her own home remedy out of different things, out of the kitchen, out of the garden. And so, me growing up with her, understanding the true power of things that are made from the garden and from the kitchen
Mm-hmm.
is kind of how I got started. I come from a corporate background. I actually have an engineering degree and worked in corporate America for many years as an engineer.
Okay, now you got to back
But
up. So how do we get from engineering to the skincare chef? So give some background. How'd you get to engineering?
well, as a little girl, I was always this very artsy little girl that loves drawing, dancing, beauty, singing, and all those things.
Yeah.
But my parents were like, "No, you got to go to college and you got to get a real job." They consider that as a real job. And I was good in math, so I ended up getting a scholarship in school as an engineer. Went off to school and worked as an engineer. But the core of me still was artsy. Even when I was in college, I would do people's hair, do their makeup, because that's really what I loved. But I graduated and worked in corporate America. And I still was, even as I was working in corporate America, I still didn't feel totally fulfilled. So long story short, I just decided to leave corporate America and pursue my true passion, my dream. So I stepped out on faith and opened up Refresh.
You know, when people say they stepped out on faith, it always just sounds so inspirational and so positive and wonderful, especially when we see the end result. You know, if my listeners could see Iwi Fresh in their brains and then hear you say, I stepped out on faith, it all looks like a beautiful, seamless journey. but but we
hmm
know but we know that's not the case. So tell me, so what was the price? Like, what did you have to do to go from corporate America to
Well,
launching?
I mean, it sounds, I know people want to hear like, oh, he has horror stories and all of that, but for me, it's not so much of a horror story. It was
Mm,
more of just, really believing in yourself
yeah.
and letting go of the traditional jobs that people felt that that was the only way that you could be successful if you
Mm-hmm.
worked in a corporate building or you work for corporations. So for me, it was just letting go of that piece
Mm-hmm.
and literally like, okay, I'm going to let go and I'm now going to do what I love to do. And I think that with any time you start any business, whether it's in corporate or whether it's your own, it's always going to be a learning curve.
Yeah.
And, so it was a learning curve on learning, what I need to do. The learning curve was being able to manage my money differently because it wasn't coming from a corporation
Mm-hmm.
of being paid by someone, once a week or every 2 weeks. It was me bringing in my own money.
Yeah.
So I had to downsize and, get rid of things that were not no longer part of this new revenue generation
Yeah.
that was coming for me. So got rid of my house, got rid of my car, but these were things that I was delighted to get rid of because I knew I had to make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
Either you was going to keep these luxury items. I couldn't keep those luxury items and live off of the income because my income shifted dramatically
Yeah.
when I started to work for myself. So I had to make some very hard decisions on downsizing, and it's not easy at the beginning because you're figuring out. You're trying to figure out how you're going to, make money, how is your income going to come in and still love and do what you do. So there's a lot of shifting that goes on, a lot of shifting. And I think if you are passionate about what you do, then you're willing to make those adjustments.
See, and that's what I mean. I love it. It's not necessarily a horror story like you say, but I
Yeah,
do believe that people don't understand. I think in the beginning we just have this idealistic view of what entrepreneurship is going to be like. It's that
yeah,
classic grass is greener on the other side.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
whatever situation I'm in right now, as soon as I get my own business, it's going to be so much better. But just
yeah,
knowing
yeah,
that the price of that vision, that price of you following who you are and who God designed you to be, that means that you got to make some different decisions. And so that's,
yes,
yeah, I love that. So
absolutely,
you just got to
absolutely.
decide, hey, this is how I'm going to be and this is what it's going to
Yeah,
take. So I'm going to make those
yeah,
adjustments. But
yes.
and so tell me, to what's it been like as you've grown? Like I laugh when I think of the conversation that we had when I delivered Vivid Magazine to you when we were talking about Shantae and our other, our assistants, and just how many times we've broken up with them, and and all of that. Like just the challenges of building a team and managing people, and how do you manage all of that?
I mean, that every day. That's a new surprise.
You sound tired.
Um,
Right?
I'm tired talking about
Right,
it
just talking
already.
about it.
But it's that I think too. Managing people. I've always managed people, even when I was in corporate America. So,
Yeah.
managing people is something that wasn't new for me, but in the industry was new for me.
Uh-huh.
And so I think managing corporate salary people and then managing hourly people in the cosmetology industry is you kind of get two different
Yeah, that's a
mindsets, two
yes.
different mindsets and
Yes.
mentalities
Yes, yes.
and work ethics and
Yes.
work ethics,
Yes.
you know. And so for me, that was really kind of one of the things that I had to learn and still learning. I think for me, what I've learned is that it is what it is.
Right?
People will
Okay.
show you who they are.
Yes.
And I think as a business owner, sometimes, you trying to hold on to people because you need their services, you
Yes.
need them to work.
Yes.
But I think as a business owner, I think you have to learn is that when people show you who they are,
Gotta believe them.
then you got to believe them and you
Yeah.
got to take action and you
Yeah.
got to move forward, you
Yeah.
know?
And you
Yeah.
can't be emotionally attached, even though you want the best.
Yeah.
You want the best for them too,
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's a challenge. I know that's a challenge for me as a business owner because, you know, as a business owner, you are your own boss now, so you get to make decisions. And I think, for me, you let your heart and your emotions get involved and you want to help everybody and
Mm-hmm.
support and you want to do these things. But I've learned that at the end of the day, when they show you who they are and if it doesn't match what you need, then
Yeah.
you need to get rid of them and move on.
Keep going.
Keep it
Yes.
moving.
Yes. Yes. Well, now
And I've learned that.
one of the other things I know about you that I think is pretty unique to you and other entrepreneurs that I know, but you are an incredible planner. Like you plan like nobody's business every time I see you.
Yes.
And so tell me now, is that something that you've always been good at, or is that something that you've learned to do? Or how have you kind of grown to
I
this
think
place?
I think, I do contribute that to corporate America. Because I will say that my journey being in corporate America before being an entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
I think has been a good asset for me
Mm-hmm.
because, in corporate America, I learned what to do and what not to do,
Yeah.
and I think some good best practices came from me through corporate America.
Mm-hmm.
So, planning, it was really one of them that I've learned planning, building processes,
Mm-hmm.
communication, those type of things I've learned very well from corporate America. So I will contribute my planning to the corporate America world.
So what you've done too is you've reminded me that there is no linear straight path to your vision, and
Mm-mm.
and everything as I've learned more and more about your story, we always talk about how you were creative as a child, how your grandmother contributed, and how you were in college and all this. And I always kind of felt like you you went into the engineering area, just because it was expected, and maybe you had more pressure from your family and blah blah blah, and then you got laid
Mm-hmm.
off, and then you were able to pursue your dreams. But it sounds like though you're saying really that was a vital part of
Yeah.
of who you have become,
Yeah.
what
I
you're
mean
doing
that
now.
is
Yeah.
yeah, I mean I that did move in that because that's where my family, they wanted the best for me. So they
Mm-hmm.
wanted me to move into that and that happened. But being in corporate America, I learned a lot. Like
Yes.
I said, I learned what to do
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
learned what not
Not
to
to
do.
do. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and so tell me this. So, you are also always making moves like in the middle of everything that's going on. And
Hmm.
um, and so that's something too that I've always admired. So how when you are dealing with the day to day of operating, a physical location, a real life business where people are coming in and out all day, and you've got hourly employees that you're managing, and you're making products by hand, and you're, all of those things, yet you are still looking ahead and seeing forward. And how do you manage to do that?
For me, I think, you have to really be tapped into yourself. And I learned that too. Early on as an entrepreneur, I was moving, moving, busy, busy, trying to do everything, had my hands in everything, and really wasn't getting much done.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And I realized that, that it doesn't require that. For me, I'm learning and I have learned and I'm still learning that you got to take care of yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be still. You got to
Mm-hmm.
be still. And I've learned that less is more, that it doesn't take, I was taught that you had to do all of this to get a lot.
Yeah.
But what I'm learning is that you don't need to do hardly nothing. You do
Okay,
less.
you do
You
less.
know, you do real less,
Okay, I need you to
very less.
explain that. Explain that.
And a part of doing less is really being tapped into yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Really being centered and being in alignment with who you are. And I think when you become truly aligned with who you are and you connected to yourself, you got to be connected to who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And then you begin to see and vision and plan things on a very lighter lighter way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that you see things and things begin to see you in a different way. You become to make yourself more visible with less. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
with less.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me is being able to, and then I do that through meditation.
Mm-hmm.
I meditate daily and I be still.
Yeah,
And I'm learning to be even more still. And the more still I become, the more that I am receiving and attracting my way. So yes, I was saying the more that I receive, the more that I'm still, the more that I'm quiet, the more less work that I do, I am receiving and I become more visible and things are attracted to me more.
I like it. I like it. We're going to take a commercial break, and when we return, we'll continue our conversation with the skincare chef, Yolanda Owens.
Who is Adam Red?
We are an Atlanta based branding agency, and we're the strategic partner you've been needing to position your business for growth. You know what you're doing. You've even had some success. However, you're not where you want to be. Adam Red is here to help you position your brand for growth. Branding is not just what your company looks like, it's how it works and the experience you create for your customers. Branding, digital, publishing, experiences.
Visit our website at adamred.agency and follow at Adam Red Agency in social media.
Welcome back to Vivid Talk. I'm your host, Gwen Witherspoon, and we're returning for the second half of our conversation with Yolanda Owens, owner of Iwi Fresh in Atlanta's historic Castleberry Hill. Now, Yolanda, before the break, we were talking about how you manage, in the middle of the day-to-day madness, how you manage to continue to look forward. And um, I want to talk about just kind of the development that you see going on for Iwi Fresh. I love how from the time that I met you to the last time we connected, I saw that you had shifted to to a specific messaging about farm to spa, farm to skin, the farm to skin spa, and that you really are pioneering in this farm to skin area. So how did you come to that positioning?
Well, for me, doing my research on the skincare and learning all about the skincare piece, realizing that it's so toxic, it's really bad for us in so many ways. And I've learned that, there's no FDA regulations on skincare, and so people can put what they want, and it's really, really absorbing into our skin, which is causing a lot of terminal illness and just all type of major side effects. And so with knowing that, my thing was we needed to create something that was true, that was real, that really was true for the skin. And so that's when I created, Iwi Fresh, loving the farm, love gardening, love farming. So my thing was, we needed to create something that was straight from the farm, straight to the skin. And so Iwi Fresh stands for it is what it is, meaning that whatever it is, that's what it is. You can read the ingredients. It's carrots. If it's squash, it's squash. It is what it is. And then farm to skin is what it is we go straight. We partner with local farms. We handpick all the fruits and vegetables. We bring them back to Iwi Fresh Spa and we juice them and we mix them and we make skincare recipes.
Now
So
you captured the attention of Macy's with this. So tell us about that.
yeah, years ago, I was in Atlanta Journal Constitution and Macy's saw the article and they reached out to me and was like, "We love your concept. We love everything. Could we put your products in my store?" And we were like, "Sure." But then there came a time as we were, going through the process of it, Macy's was like, "Well, you're going to have to put preservatives in your products."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
Nope.
no." And they were like, "Well, you can't be in Macy's." I said, "Well, I guess I won't be in Macy's." So I turned Macy's down because, again, EWE stands for it is what it is. So meaning that, my mission and my passion is to feed the skin the truth.
Yeah.
So if I put chemicals in my products just so they can sit on the shelf, then it's not e-refresh.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. So now, so how long after that did the Whole Foods situation come about? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so Whole Foods came about, fairly recently, about a couple of years ago. Whole Foods, two ladies came in the spa. They got services, and then after they got services, they came to me and said they love their services, they love the concept, they love the store, and would I be interested in putting my products in their store? I said, sure. What is your store? And they said Whole Foods. I said, which one?
Which
They
one?
said we're regional. So I said, great. They said, well, we're looking at putting something in the Pond store, but we work for the regional department. Perfect. And I said, well, how did you find me? They said, we found you on Instagram, Facebook, and social media. And they were looking for a product that was farm to skin, that was really raw, that did not that had expiration dates and had to be refrigerated. So when they said they want to eat refresh, I said, well, we don't have to have refrigeration. They said, yeah, that's what we want. And so we've been in Whole Foods now over a year and a half, almost 2 years, over on Ponce. So it's been great.
I love it. I love it. Now, you talk, I also see something about an urban center, a gourmet farmers market skincare cafe. Is that something else, something new?
Well, we're adding the juice bar to
Ah,
in the spa. We're gonna
okay.
add a juice bar.
Okay.
Hmm.
So now, so
Yes.
so tell me the part that how has vision factored into this for you? How does that impact your day to day life?
What do you mean? I'm not sure of the question.
How how important is it for you to be looking forward? Like I see, we talked about the
Yeah.
fact that in the middle of everything, in the middle of the day to day, because there's always
Yeah.
all kinds of things going on. Like I remember
Well,
one time I came in and there had been a flood or something, a little minor thing, and you guys were dealing with that. So you've got these things that come up every day, and
yeah.
but you got to
Yeah.
keep looking forward. And so
Yeah.
how has vision played into all of that for you? Ultimately, vision just even as a
I
practice.
yeah. I think that I think relaxation. I've learned that that is the key.
Yeah,
Is
just being
to
quiet.
relax,
Yeah.
chill.
And
Don't
rest.
stress
Yeah.
because whatever it's gonna be, that's what it's gonna be. And I've learned that everything is always gonna work out.
Hmm.
And so I've learned that I really have come to know that less is more, relaxation is better, and you get more and things happen better. I mean, when things happen, I don't stress out. I
Yeah.
don't stress. I
Yeah.
just take a deep breath and be like, all right,
Right.
next,
Yeah.
what are we gonna do next? And as far as visionary, I think entrepreneurs we are automatically naturally visionaries.
Hmm.
And we do, things come to you, and when it feels good when it comes to you, then it's most likely gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, and I love
Yeah,
what you said too, that you were born to grow people.
yeah, yeah. I feel like I've always been a natural born leader. That's the thing I've done. I've always been a leader. I've learned in Iwi. Iwi is more than a spa for me. It's a ministry,
Hmm.
and so I think because of my passion to help people is really Iwi gives me that platform to do that.
Well, you have this unique gift. I always say to make everybody that walks in the door feel like they like your special friend.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
mean, really,
Customer
like,
service.
yeah, it's like home when you walk in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
I'm always I'm very grateful and very appreciative when people walk into my business because it's something that was built, from scratch and from a vision, and to have people that actively seek to come to your business is very grateful and appreciative.
Hmm. So our theme, the Vivid Brands theme for the quarter, I mentioned is power and wealth. So how do you define wealth?
For me, wealth is long term longevity, it's patience, it's endurance, it's just being patient, not moving too fast, um, just really strategically thinking through things. But it's that endurance, it's patience. It's that's what wealth is to me, because wealth is building long term longevity. When you're gone, you dead and gone.
Mm-hmm.
Your wealth is going down from generation to generation, leaving a legacy.
Yeah.
So that is wealth for me.
And how do you define power?
Power is being connected with yourself.
Mm.
I think you gotta connect with yourself. You gotta be in alignment. You're in alignment with yourself and you're connected with yourself, then that's power.
And what would your advice be to someone starting out trying to decide, or just they've made a decision to follow their dream and to really pursue the vision that God has given them? What would be that one piece of advice you'd give them?
Is be connected with who you are.
Hmm.
Try to find who you are. Stay connected with who you are. Get in alignment. And for an entrepreneur, my biggest thing is relax,
Yeah.
chill. chill. Because that's what I know now.
Right.
Hmm.
Because it's all going to work out.
It's all going to work
And if
out.
you freak out, that doesn't mean it's going to work out any faster.
Yes, you're
Right?
going to freak out. Yeah,
So you
absolutely.
might as well rest and relax through it.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so how, tell our listeners how we need to connect with Iwi Fresh and what you have specifically to offer there.
Well, eRefresh, you can go to our website, erefresh.com.
How do you spell it?
Instagram, Facebook, IWI Fresh.
Okay.
IWIFresh.com. We are located downtown Atlanta by the new Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Castleberry Hill.
Mm-hmm.
The address is 341 Nelson Street, Atlanta, Georgia, 30313. Our phone number is 404-577-8072.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Yolanda Owens, for being our guest on Vivid Talk Radio.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thanks for listening to Vivid Talk Radio, a coaching conversation for visionaries. A special thanks to Adam Red. Visit vividtalkradio.com to follow us and make sure you never miss an episode. Join the conversation by speaking your mind, posting your comments, sharing in social media, and tagging at Vivid Brands. You've been listening to Vivid Talk Radio with Gwen Witherspoon. Join us each Wednesday at 5 p.m. and get a vision for every area of life. Visit vividtalkradio.com for more. Until next time, make it vivid.